Okay, so the scene starts off with Morgan Freeman sitting in his cell making a whole diss track on the Horseman and Dylan for putting him there. And what kind of prison is this? They giving guys whole PCs, allowing him to blog to the outside world. Bro, he might as well be free. I've seen guys with a whole Xbox and PS4 in prison. They over here playing Naruto, Shinobi Striker and Fortnite. They even got the newest iPhones. It came out last week. Brother, who is your plug? But after finishing his studio session, we see Atlas traveling through the sewers, and bro now has a buzz cut. Hey, I can't even hate it, Loki works for him. I've seen some cooked buzz cuts in my time, I ain't even gonna lie. Thought they were about to look like Michael B. Jordan, ended up like KD. But turns out Atlas is actually linking with the Eye, and he's over here complaining, saying they've been waiting around for like a year now. Just been chilling at the crib, unemployed like most of you, cause he's been in hiding. But the Eye tells him that if he wants to be the leader and take over Dylan, he's gonna have to wait and be patient. Bro's just straight up plotting on his man's downfall. He's over here asking his boss to fire that one co-worker he swears he's above you. Bro, shut your ass up, man. But we then cut to Dylan still trying to pretend to be an FBI agent, and he's just making himself look crazy on purpose, saying that he's been tracking pictures to look for the Horsemen. I know a couple Ghanaians are doing the same thing. So after making himself look like Fly Reacts, the other agents leave, and just look at that damn smirk on his face. He knows he's cooking right now. Done studied under Beetlejuice for a year, learned the whole play-by-play on how to make yourself look like an idiot even though you aren't one. But Atlas then gets home after a long day of backdooring his own mans just to see a random girl laying on his sofa. Trips on a wire and a whole chain reaction trick shot from like 2020 goes off, and this all leads to her head getting chopped off. Yeah, that boy Atlas ain't phased one bit. Start unpacking his good eats, telling her to get out the crib. He goes to lift up the sofa thinking she's underneath, but somehow she's right behind him. That just don't make any sense. He then pulls up on her, tries to tie her up, but just makes it obvious he has a 0% attendance at Boy Scouts. She got out within seconds. So he starts to tie her up from behind, and she starts to say that she knows everything about the Horsemen, even that Jack isn't dead. Yeah, she gotta go. Atlas then finishes tying her up, goes to grab the phone, turns around, and she's already gone. She just out here teleporting everywhere. He then pulls up on Jack and Merritt. They all pull up on Dylan just to find out that she's already there and she's the new member of the Horsemen. Henley already left the squad. She was tired of sitting around for mad long. Had a bunch of sneaky links on the roster she couldn't even link. Might as well call them sneaky no links. Aye. They will then start to argue about this new addition, and just look at how Jack is looking at Lula. He's physically disgusted just looking at her face. This the same face you make when your girl starts telling you her bot backstory. You instantly realize she is not the one. She's over here laughingly saying how she slept with 4 guys in the same night. Bro, what? But Dylan tells the squad that he's got a new mission from the Eye. They gotta expose some company by the name of Okta, owned by Owen Case. They trying to sell their phone users privacy. Go have some random in China with your whole search history. So the squad's mission is to hijack their next show. So after a whole bunch of planning, it's now the day of the event, and the whole squad has to get a real job for this. That's just way too far. They enter in dangerous territories. Just the thought of a GOB frightens me. And Atlas is over here switching from job to job like it's nothing. In this economy, bro, you have to straight up complete Among Us puzzles and have 20 years of experience just to work at McDonald's. Atlas then gets Owen's signature and switches again into an electrician. Pulls up to electrical and straight up frames this man. Made him look like he just escaped the mental ward, with Jack making bro's case even worse, giving him a banana as a phone. Security over here talking about some
yeah, he's lost, man. He don't know what the fuck to do, I could tell.
Atlas then hacks into the circuit board, and Lula's over here fighting with some random chef, and she ends up cutting her whole arm. Got the white people over here hitting their default move. She low-key needs to start mewing for real. But all this commotion allows Merritt to pull up on Owen and start to hypnotize him. If we about to go on a 2-man, you have to do everything I say in a snap. Make sure you don't fumble it, so listen to the voice in your head, my voice. And he puts him in a room with a camera in front of him. Lula's now done with her act pretending to quit, and the show starts. And Owen just starts to expose himself with Merritt talking in his ear telling him what to say, force bro to tell the audience that him and Sneako have the same profession. The Horsemen then make their appearance on stage for the first time in a year, and they immediately get to work exposing Buddy's whole company. But out of nowhere, Dylan finds a card calling him a fool and the FBI pull up. He immediately pulls up on them trying to act a fool again, saying that he's already been here, and Jack locks the doors so they can't get to the Horsemen. Buddy over here has the most blank stare I've ever seen. He's already gone to Dylan's plate, told bro to stop capping. And back on stage, the whole thing's going wrong. Mike starts to cut out and so do the lights, and the whole presentation gets hacked. I know someone in the crowd's happy as hell. It was their turn to present next, ain't done a single bit of work. And this has to be the biggest scammer get scammed moment, cause whoever's doing this starts exposing the Horsemen as well. Y'all remember that boy Jack Wilder? Yeah, he's still alive. Paparazzi turned into the Flash, took about 20 pictures in like 3 seconds. The hacker then opens the doors for the FBI and exposes the Horsemen's biggest secret. There's actually a 5th horseman behind all of this, FBI agent Dylan Rhodes. They instantly cuff him without question, ain't even hear bro out. Been their partner for the last 10 years, the betrayal is crazy. But he gets out the cuffs, reversing it on that one cool high school teacher, and cuffs the rest of them together, disappearing into the darkness. Now that his secret's out, he might as well just start aura farming, why not? The Horsemen had the same idea, getting the hell out of there, making a run for it. They get to their chute that's supposedly meant to be leading to a truck, start tweaking on the way down just to not only not land in the truck, but to land in some random Chinese food restaurant. Got the chef tweaking, he almost got caught with ratatouille under his hat, gotta gatekeep the method. They then start to get kicked out the kitchen, and someone gon' take Merritt's hat for no reason, revealing that Rose LeBron's long lost brother. He about to do Buddy over here like Bradley Martin did to Stable Ronaldo. Damn, actually, chef next to her gon' pull out the weather wrap, he don't know what to do. So they then get kicked out. Merritt goes outside to check and realizes that this ain't no random Chinese shop. They don't call it a Chinese shop over here, they just call it a shop. Pulling back up to the squad to tell them this just for his real twin brother Chase to pull up. And either he done took their other brother LeBron's advice, or he done got all the best hair genes. And turns out Chase over here is part of the reason why they're in China in the first place. Alice tries to walk up on him just for the whole shop to stand up, getting ready to turn bro into SpongeBob, straight holes everywhere. Brody's got the best security in the world, certain guys can't say the same thing, security's sorry as hell. Chase then sends them to meet their boss, putting them in a bunch of black trucks, and the locals couldn't get any less. Just smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave. But we then cut to Dylan at the rendezvous spot, and he's over here confused. He can't even chalk it down to black people timing. There's not one brother on the squad. He then randomly gets a call on no caller ID, picks it up, and it's Morgan Freeman's hating us. He's over here rubbing the whole situation in his face. He's loving this, told Dylan to pull up on him if he's really like that. And that boy Dylan ain't no punk. He immediately hops in the V, going to the prison to run the ones for the Horsemen. But they then make it to the boss's building, get taken upstairs to meet him, and it's Harry Potter. After defeating Voldemort, the people weren't glazing him enough, and you know bro loves attention. So he decided to become a whole crime boss and rule over Macau in China. Cho was just way too bad, you know he had to pull back up on her. Anyways, Buddy's name is Walter, and apparently he's supposed to be dead for a year now. Done copied Jack's whole flow, word for word, bar for bar. And he starts to say that he faked his death so he could control the grid from outside of it, out here sounding like Andrew Tate. He then starts to explain how he got them here, but the squad already got it all figured out, explaining his whole plan to him. Got Buddy tweaking, acting like a child, saying that he wants to explain it himself. Jack has the best facial expressions, bro, the pure disgust and confusion on his face. And bro, what is he doing? You is not the thinker. So after explaining how he kidnapped them by sending them to sleep in the tube, he says they're gonna be working together for a simple mission. Walter had actually invested a lot of money into the man they robbed in the last movie, so they will have to pay him back by stealing a chip from Owen's company. And that chip is the key to every computer in the world. No privacy for no one, gotta delete your whole search history. But the squad low-key ain't going for it, reciting the words of Little Tyler in his face.
No, I ain't doing shit. shit for you if that shit don't get me paid.
Just for Walter to tell him that if they don't, he's gonna murk all of them, had to say their apologies, immediately complying. But we then cut back to Dylan pulling up on Morgan Freeman, and bro, this ain't no prison, this a whole college dorm. Has a whole TV and a Mac. Either bro has the warden wrapped around his finger or there's a prison in Switzerland, cause bro out here living better than most people and it's all free. Even got Dylan looking around the room in utter shock. Bro's out here living better than me. Morgan then pulls up, sits in his seat and tells bro to let him out of prison for 24 hours and he'll help him find the horseman, and Dylan agrees. Bro, what happened to the hands? That was the quickest conversation I done ever seen. They were talking crazy over the phone just to pull up on each other, acting friendly. I was expecting to see at least one RKO or something. They just shook hands. But we then cut back to the horsemen as they're on their way to the magic store to get supplies. And Atlas is over here trying to act as group leader. Seeing that they can't trust Walter, they have to get the chip and get into the eye so they can get them out of here and clear their names. Now even though I have to admit this is a good plan, bro really thinks he's boys with the eye. Whole time they do not mess with him. But they then get to the magic store, Atlas tells them what they need and he gonna use their phone to contact the eye. The backdooring is crazy, even Jack knows he's wildin'. Ah, get it? Jack Wildin'? I'ma just stop. Jack then pulls up on Luna and she's over here trying to rizz bro up, showing him that she can also steal his wallet, saying that they're both toxic, they can just steal each other's stuff. She even took his belt, she trying to go crazy in the store. She walks away and just look at Jack contemplating it with the smirk on his face. Yeah, he ain't had nothing in over a year, he's supposedly dead, that brother's starving. Alice then pulls up on him saying that after they get the chip, he has to meet someone with a blue hat in the marketplace and he'll give it to the eye so they can get back home. And Morgan and Dylan are already on the private jet coming to China, and Morgan's over here trying to rage bait bro, and he might just have a master's degree in it cause it works like a damn charm. Had to dust off his suit, he got his dirty paws in it, it gon' mess up his effing leather. The squad then do some training for their mission and hypnotize a Brazilian mob boss so they can act as his pawns to get into the facility where the chip is at. They then pull up to the building with Buddy, and bro, is that must have went on beyond scared straight, changed his whole life around. He's even become a punk, got the glass rolled up on him.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
But the squad get in the facility, go through the metal detector, and one of the guards takes Jack's wallet because he forgot to take it out. They make it into the facility to see the supercomputer, and Merrick gon' start acting like he is hay fever in an empty room that's literally sold off from the world. Him and B-Lou have to have the combined IQ of 5. There's no way this is your best plan, and the fact it works is what pisses me off even more. The guards rush towards him, allowing Jack to go underneath the computer and use Lula's hairbrush to take out the chip and put on the back of a playing card. And I ain't even gonna lie, this scene had me on the edge of my seat, stressing out. The fact I already knew what was gonna happen and was still worried is crazy. I was over here screaming at my TV like Silver was an Axel. And now that we're on this topic, bro was really a grown, no, I can't even say grown, an old ass man terrorizing kids. He was over here teaching Kenny killing moves and tries to make it all okay, sitting down with Johnny and Daniel talking about some
This is all I got. This is all I got. Don't take my baby, okay?
Bro, you're weird. But anywho, Jack gets out after stealing the chip, and Mario over here instantly peeps this, telling the guards to search them. Whole squad acting confused like that one guy after stealing your phone in the locker room. He's trying to help you look for it, knowing damn well it's in his back pocket. So they start the search, and Jack's just over here finessing Buddy, flick onto the mouth and slide down their elbow to hide it. He knows he's clean with it. He then flings it over to Atlas, he slides it down his blazer, through his whole outfit and out his pants, sliding under Lula's shoes. And what I wanna know is how Buddy behind her does not see that slide right towards him. Unless he's looking at the ceiling for no reason, there is no way he doesn't see that. I can just tell Buddy lied on his resume, told him he has 20 years of security experience. He can't even secure a wine at the function. Lula then pretends to trip picking up the card, and she's over here looking for anyone to pass to, talking about some
lads, you've got to give me options, you've got There's nothing to do!
But everyone says no and she decides to play the god herself, even having to take off her bra and flip the card over on each side. Buddy then walks away and she gon' slap him on the backside, leaving the card there, allowing Merritt to pick it up. And just look at the distress on this man's face. He ain't never been touched like that in his life. He gon' think about this moment for the next 20 years just cause of how violated he feels. Merritt then connects the card to a wire in his suit and Atlas pulls it, shooting it through his suit, allowing Atlas to catch it. And finally, someone with some sort of peripheral vision seeing Atlas take the card. Rest of these guards must have not unlocked that attribute yet. You can tell he's a higher position. He tells Atlas to turn around, and after taking a whole 10 minutes, he finally turns. The officer checks him and he's clean. He then goes to get escorted out, pulls out the card and throws it to Merritt. And yet again, we have another horrendous guard. He flicked the card right in front of your face, gang. He ain't even trying to hide it anymore. Atlas just knows you suck. But Merritt then throws it to Lula, who throws it to Jack, and as they're walking, he throws it back to Merritt, who catches it in his hat, pretending he's hitting the doggy. Mario's over here looking at bro confused, about to challenge him to a dance battle. Most of the squad then make it through the metal detector, and Jack tells Buddy to pass him back his wallet. And at this very moment, as it's going through, Atlas hits the bell and Merritt throws the card through the metal detector straight into Lula's coat. Hold the place! That boy Merritt's training been paying off. He would have thrown that straight into the face of a guard not a week ago. So the squad hit the dash with immediate effect, and we cut to Dylan and Morgan Freeman pulling up to the magic shop the horsemen were at earlier. They start looking around and end up finding the same box that Dylan's dad did his last trick in when he drowned while performing. And the grandma then gives Dylan the same watch his father used to have, and the son gives bro all the information that Atlas is meeting someone at the market today. And Morgan's over here acting like a kid going to the store with his parents. Got told not to touch anything, done touched every item in the store. He jumps in a casket and straight up disappears, leaving Dylan with a note saying your move. Casket has to be one of them toilets from Fortnite, cause this just ain't making sense. Dylan then pulls up on Atlas in the marketplace, and why is bro looking around like he's waiting for his date to pull up? Gang, I'm sorry, she's not coming. The buzz cut done scared her off. And after seeing Dylan, Atlas is telling bro they no longer need him. He's now talking to the plug and they said they finna meet him here. Got Dylan feeling confused and betrayed. This is seen straight out of Snowfall. So Dylan leaves and turns out Atlas is the biggest idiot on the planet, cause Walter gon' pull up. Whole time he's been talking to him. Back at the magic shop when he was on the phone, and even at the start of the movie when he thought he was talking to the leaders of the Eye, it was just Walter with a voice changer. He was gonna use it to catch some EDBs, but Atlas was just way too easy of a target to lose out on. Just look at Atlas's face. Oh, the deception, the betrayal. One of the guards then hits him with a right to the stomach, makes bro take a knee, and after feeling those two bros immediately done. He ain't never been hit like that in his life, so he tells them to stop and goes to give the stick, just for Dylan to pull up, pressing him against the wall, hits him with a right and takes the stick, throwing him into a room. And Atlas then finds out that this is all a ploy. He still has the real one. This is part of Dylan's plan to lead them away, and he immediately gets to work. Shoulder check, hits Buddy with Baby Darwin, kickback weave, wrap around, made bro do a whole front flip, right weave, grabs the camera, hits Buddy with 100 flashbangs, elbow to the face, grabs bro and throws him into the rest of them. Got Walter over here confused. Bro, there's 10 of you, jump him. One of the guards runs at him just to slam straight into some glass. Getting hired as a guard in this movie automatically drops your IQ by at least 50. Dylan then starts flapping around in some sheets. He disappears and the guard peeps this little ass animal and still thinks it's him. He about ready to cut it in half, but the animal comes out the cover and for some reason he looks surprised at the fact it's a rabbit. Brother, what else could it have been? I refuse to believe Buddy actually thought there was a whole human under there. But they peep Dylan trying to hit the dash. He jumps onto the railing, weave, but gets hit with a sweep, falling back down. He grabs a stick on fire, tells them to back up and pick picks up some vodka, drinking it and spitting it back on them just to set himself on fire as well. One of the guards hit him with an NFL tackle into another shop, and this is practically game over. He's on 1 HP with no more shields or medkits, and to finish him off, Chase gon' distract him while Walter hits him with a bottle over the head. The squad then peeped them taking Dylan away and his father's safe, so they decide to trail them. We fast forward a bit, Walter takes the bag of Dylan's head, and we find out that Buddy from last movie who got hit with a fat lick is actually Walter's father.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
And they're both psychopaths, putting Dylan in the same safe his father drowned in, locking him up and dropping him into the ocean while sipping on some tea. That boy Art couldn't look any prouder, acting like he's just seen him come home with his 5th girl of the week. Gang, your son is crazy. But they then leave, and to cut things short, Dylan ends up getting out with his father's watch, and Atlas dives down to bring him back up. And we then find out that Morgan Freeman is working with Buddy again, and he's the one who told Art to drown him in his father's safe. That's the straight up evil. I knew Buddy was a hater, but bro, like that? Dylan then wakes back up. Atlas says he's sorry and everything's happy again in the world, just for Jack to realize that the stick they have is a fake. They have no idea who has the real one, unless they never took the real one in the first place. So they pull back up to the magic shop and come up with a plan to not only make Walter think they still have the stick, but that they gonna use it to expose him to the world and reveal that he isn't actually dead. And out of nowhere, Granny gon' pull up on them speaking perfect English. She was over here acting like Dota earlier, ain't understand a single word. Atlas was going through the trouble of trying to gesture to her what he was saying. Dude, I'm from Detroit. But we then also find out that Shorty and her grandson are both part of the Eye, and they're about to help them with their new plan. Could've, you know, just getting silly here, helped them a whole day ago when they came in with their life in danger. But we digress. So the squad puts out a YouTube video saying that they're about to perform a bunch of tricks in London, and the finale will be at exactly 12 AM on the dot at New Year's. Got Walter watching this in shock, thinking they're about to out him to his hometown. Ginny gon' pull up on him mad as hell for leaving her and the kids to play with some femboys in China. We then fast forward to London, and the whole city is in Central waiting for them to appear. Even got the roadmen looking all giddy about this. All the beef has ended for one night just to see the horsemen, and Jack is the first one to make his appearance. Took Buddy's goal with ease, saying that it's supposedly for the show. Gang, you gotta be careful, the boyfriend's thinking about absolutely violating you right now. Atlas and Lula then make their appearance with everyone doing their own little tricks, and to me, Atlas has to have the best trick of them all, cause he gon' stop the rain and start moving it about like crazy. Buddy don't learn how to water bend. This ain't even making sense to me. Even though he reveals he's using a rain machine, it still don't make sense. Even got Don Polo over here tweaking. He ain't never seen this in his life. But Chase then pulls up on Merritt, and he gon' somehow read his mind, finding out exactly where the henchmen are heading and what they're planning. Merritt then pushes him into some random hobo, and bro, ain't this the same place Aaron was spying on his younger self? Matter of fact, bro, is that Aaron? Hood up trying to act mysterious, couldn't be anyone else. After taking out 80% of his world, he's trying to take out 80% of every other world. He's coming for it all. Merritt then calls up Dylan, telling him that Chase found out, so he calls up the rest of the squad, telling them to dip out. Pulling up to the rendezvous spot, hopping on some motorbikes and trying to hit the dash. But Walter's men pull up, and they just start showing how horrendous their aim is. Didn't hit a shot this whole scene, but gets taken out by a guy with nothing but hands.
This nigga is trash.
And Atlas and Dylan are over here cooking up 100 IQ plays, grabbing Lula off her bike, causing it to crash into the rest of the guards. But of course, there's just one person that has to sell the whole play. Merritt ain't rode a bike in his life, crashed within 5 seconds of taking off. So the goons apprehend the squad, putting them in a truck with the psychopath father and son, and the way they were moving earlier, I'm surprised they ain't chopped one of the squad's heads off to prove a point. But they pull up to the airport, transfer them into the private jet, and Walter just starts to flex on them for no reason, walking up and down the plane talking about some
My shape up better, my car faster, my trip better, my clothes fit better, my hoes better, my tattoos better.
Look at Atlas's face, he knows he's right, ain't had a cut in about a week, hairline's hitting the nay-nay right now. They then ask for the stick, Dylan says no, and here comes that head chopping I was talking about earlier. This genuinely might be the craziest father-son duo there is. Both of them are just crazy for no reason. They over here trying to take a stick so they can spy on people. Brother, why? So after seeing this, Atlas gives them the stick and now it's Art's turn to flex on them, showing them a £1.2 million bottle. Paying that much for wine is crazy, just for it to taste like someone took a dump in a bottle and made it fizzy. Chase then gives Walter the idea to toss them out the plane. They getting tossed out one by one while the father and son are just cheersing over some wine. They have a sip and it tastes exactly how I said,
Literal
straight doo-doo
doo-doo
water.
water?
Art takes off the label to see the full card hiding underneath. The lights then switch off and we see the horsemen just chilling outside the plane. I'm over here thinking they just got powers, about to do bro like Homelander did, but they tell them to pull up outside and we see that they're still on the floor. The plane never left. They was jumping out the plane looking like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Turns out this is the finale they were talking about and the whole world is watching. Buddy that got called the N-word is in the crowd, happy as hell, got his get back without even having to do anything. So they expose Walter for still being alive and explain how they did all this. Buddy from the magic shop that knocked out their driver and drove them to this spot instead. And cause they were rushing so much, they didn't even peep they were getting in the wrong jet. They even faked the flying with a bunch of wind and fake rain. And remember that hobo I thought was Aaron? Turns out it was Jack. He done hypnotized Chase into coming up with the idea to throw the horseman out the plane. And wait a damn second, does bro have a shadow clone or what? He was doing his performance at the same time. What is going on here? Anyways, after exposing them for being weirdos, it hits New Year's and Lula hits Jack with a New Year's kiss. Got bro geeked. Look at the smile on his face. This is what bro's been waiting for. This means something to me, man. The FBI then pull up, arresting Walter and his father, and Friendship pulls up on Dylan, but ends up letting him go cause he gives her a USB with all of Walter and Art's dealings on it. So the squad leave, pulling up to the Eye's hideout, and turns out Morgan Freeman is part of the Eye. He's been playing them the whole time and he was Dylan's father's partner. But all of this is irrelevant cause bro decided it was a good idea to traumatize this man so much. Drowning him in his father's safe? What type of sadistic test is that? He's over here saying that he knew he would get out. Bro, that does not make it okay. But this is now officially the end of the movie, and I ain't gonna lie, this was peak. Not as peak as the first one, but still peak. MVP of this movie easily had to be Jack. He even got some at the end. They over here holding hands like a married couple. Gang, your first kiss was 30 minutes ago. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the vid. All glory to God, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.